So the internet connection is broken again. So nobody can go there.
Completely broken.
Yes.
I give the message wrong IP configuration.
Okay, maybe we must do it. Yes? The term class, document class,
no, not the document class, something other statement which tells you that a certain file is the main document of a book, for example.
No.
So you have to organize your in a way that you say this is main dot something or so.
Do you have start document?
Yeah,
Start document, stop document?
Start text, stop text.
you can do start document, stop document, and you can pass settings to it.
Yeah.
But it's not normally what users do. Normally, they start out with
Okay, but I thought it exists.
Yes,
That is, but we are then immediately jumping to something like second level or third level. There is a structure possible in which you can organize projects. But I think this is unfortunately a little bit beyond what we are able to do today. But basically what you can do is say, okay, this is my main document, and inside that you organize only part of the things, and everything else, chapters, maybe even very complicated sections are outside this document, and you call them in, of course. And of course you can organize all the setups, you can organize in a separate file. Yes, and you call that environment. Yes, so no, you don't have to put everything in such a huge file. So it works completely like Barbara Peter yesterday was asking us how to do it. Don't make files of millions of lines. So this, of course, you can.
The nice thing is that you can compile just one chapter or one section of a chapter, even if you don't have within document and documents. You can just compile one section or the whole book from the same sources.
So, let's say, probably there are more questions until the files are on the laptop. Okay. Of course, everything is quite techish, yes? So the backslash is like in other packages, is our guide to the commands, the backslash. And you can see that you have, for instance, this is a very nice one. You can just type it in uppercase, and you get context written in the way like it is given here. So you don't have to do anything. You just this is just a predefined. Is it called Hans a logo? Do you call this logo?
Logo, yeah.
Yeah, you can go.
Okay.
And your transparencies were made in context, yes?
Yes, this is there is yeah, okay. It's very good that you asked this. Mainly, context is pragma, is handhaven, yes? But there are users who develop things which are put into, as we call them, modules. And this is one of these modules. There is a module called Simple Slides. It is a fairly simple something. Different styles predefined, you can use them, you can adapt them, and make in such a way quite easily presentation. So modules you have to ask to be loaded, yes? Because there are third-party context will find them, but they are not in the context tree directly. They are in a separate tree.
So the
use that live because I use exclusively context, so I exclusively use the minimal distribution from the wiki. About documentation, there Hans has prepared a huge number of documents in which you can find information about context. It needs a little bit of reading to know where is described what. We have to admit that, but there is really a hell of a lot. And there are different books already on the market. Who is interested in such books should address Taco Hugata, who is, let's say, the administrator of this issue. And I think one of the best manuals to be read, studied, and used is the context as an excursion. This is, of course, an example which I made myself. So it is not officially produced, but you can download the file and print it and put it together into a book if you want. That is a very nice development. This is still the old version. Everything what is written in here still works, but in the meantime there have been so many changes that now there is a new version of this book. And may I ask you how far is in the meantime the excursion?
It should be complete. It should be okay. I think it's in the distribution.
No. Okay.
Both of these things.
Okay. There is something to be told. If you go to the tech tree and the context, context, you will find a directory in which many of the manuals are present. So, while preparing this tutorial, I was reading the new version of Context and Excursion, and it should be there in the meantime. How far are we now with our files? Everybody has the files?
Yeah, they returned here.
Oh, okay. Could you?
I didn't get it.
Oh,
I think all of us.
left you out.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can slowly start. I want to make sure that everybody has a working context installation. So you find on in your working directory, you find the file, which is name is context works. The content of this file is only this.
Without context.
Sorry?
There is no context in the file. I mean, this word.
Only this sentence. So just to demonstrate that we are able to do
But
a
the word
document.
context is not present.
Sorry?
I have added.
Starts with
This /context / is not in the file.
Right. What? This is in the. This belongs. This is a predefined something.
But it was not typed in.
Is it? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's what I want to.
So, oh, thank you. Now I understand. Oh my God.
But I have added.
Okay. So you can add it. You can add it. Okay. So if everything is okay, you should be able to compile this file.
It
And
works.
you should get an output. No?
I get future.
That's Mark 2.
You should use, okay, we should not use Mark 2. Because then the accented N will cause problems. What that should be.
Take does. Take version is fine, but it doesn't seem to have anything.
Does it work?
Yes, it does.
Okay, for you it does. It does?
I mean, the first round took longer than the second round because probably it was reading something wrong. And the first round.
Yeah. If you have a really new installation, nothing done with it, first it will initialize a big database. Among them also font database. So that takes a little bit of time. So it's a lot. Next time, now we are using
the
more.
second time it runs.
Should be very fast. Okay. You see that it is possible just only with very little command typing you can produce a document. Of course we cannot say that it wins the prize of beauty, but you get output. So if you do not do anything about setting up specific things, ConTeXt is going to use Latin modern. You can do math, you can do everything, Latin modern will provide the output. Okay, when I was preparing this tutorial, Jerzy said to me, but we need to have a project, not that only playing around. So I decided that we are going to work on something like an invoice. The idea is that we are going to develop something where there is some kind of logo, some information about what it is. This is an invoice, in this case in Dutch, but never mind. And then we are going to use table because we want to do calculations. We will show figures. We can add some text, and we will develop something like a footer. So this is the idea. But before we do that, I want to go slowly and introduce concepts needed or used in ConTeXt. Standard ConTeXt wants to produce output on A4 size. Yes, paper A4. So for people coming from the United States, they will always have to change that to letter or whatever they want. So there is a very important aspect to this. We say the output on A4. So we have two things. We have the paper size, which is A4. And we have the layout size, which is A4. What we ask ConTeXt to do is prepare output in the layout A4, put it on paper A4. I can also say, I want paper size A5 as a layout, and I want ConTeXt to put it on an A4 landscape, so that it fits, of course. I can also say, okay, I made A4 layout, but I want to have it on A3 output. Okay. So we must always keep in mind that there is a difference between what we lay out and what really is on paper. So we always have something coming in layout, and that will be put on paper.
It will be centered, of course, but can you put it in the corner?
You can. You can do all kinds of things. There are, in ConTeXt, standard, all ISO series of, in series of papers are predefined. There are US formats, there are envelope sizes predefined, and you can also define, of course, your own. So you say, if I define now a paper, define, give it a name, my paper size, and then you say, you see now here these double brackets, this is the name, and then you get what the paper should be. If we define this one, you can now say, okay, context, please use my paper size, this one, and put it on A4 paper. So this is a very important concept to be kept in mind. If we talk about a page layout, we have many areas on a page. The blue square here, this is the area on which our text appears. Then we have margins, and especially if you deal with documents on screen, with interaction and these kind of things, you have also an edge area in the vertical direction. We have, of course, text area in which our text is appearing, and we have a header area, a footer area, and again for interactive documents, screen documents, you can also use the top and the bottom. Normally, yes? In special cases, of course, I can also use the bottom area for my paper if I want to do specific things. It is not really the idea, but you can. And important is, all these areas can be configured. So, basically, what we do is, we say in our layout, first of all, where our text area starts. Text area plus footer, I must say. So we are defining that our top space, for instance, is 15 millimeters, because I want to use more of the space than in the standard setup is given. The backspace is the left, and we must think of defining our layout is always, in first instance, a right page. Therefore, yes, if you have a right page, this is not a good example. If you have a right page, yes, then you have top space and you have back space. This is normally white. So it defines then where our elements which contain text or figures or whatever are starting in this point. This is the point we define, in fact. And from there everything is calculated. I said that we can set up headers and footers. So for my first example, I say I don't want a header. So I set header space to 0. If I do that, context also says, aha, there is no header. Oh, there is also no header spacing needed between starting my text and the header. There is no header, so also the spacing is thrown out. The same you can do for your footer. You can say how big it must be. You can say it is 10 millimeters, but you can also relate it to your body form. This is sometimes quite a nice thing. If we want to have a layout which is having left and right elements, margins, the same, then we can say we want the width is middle, so everything is centered in the middle. And if you want that top and lower space are the same, I said first top space is 15 millimeters, so also the space under the footer will be 15 if I say middle. Everything is the same. Bottom, left, right.
Question.
Yes?
Do you have standard layouts, like in article you put 10 points, then everything is, and then 12 points?
That is the difference. We have no predefined layout. So you cannot say article, this document is article. You cannot say that.
Yeah, but what the question
No, but
was,
I mean
the
10
question
and
was,
12 points, for example, because you see, you have the same file and then you only change 10 points from 12 points, and then the whole text is changed. I mean, the spaces, the font sizes, and everything. So it is convenient in a way. So is there such a thing also, or you have to redefine setup manually?
Now, if you change font size, that means only in fact that your document is getting longer. So the layout of the page as such remains completely the same, but bigger letters. So I just use more space, more pages. So you can...
I mean, vertical space like line height will adjust.
Yeah, sure. Because all spacing will be adjusted to the new font size.
And there are no free definitions for the size of the chapter title, section titles. But you have to define it in your own.
No. It's not true.
Yeah, but it's not scaling if your body font size.
Yes, of course it does.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
If you change your body font, if you change it on top, everything is changing. So also the chapter headers will be changed into a bigger size.
Oh, okay.
Because there is a relation that is deep down. We can change a lot of things. So that is predefined that a chapter header is bigger than a section header, and that a section header is bigger than a subsection header.
And the body font, of course. I mean the text font.
Compared to the body font.
Yes. So everything is relative to.
Yes. So that is.
Okay, that's important. That was really the question.
Yes. Oh, okay. So we can confirm this is the.
Of course, it won't scale if you define the chapter header to be 30 points. This one won't scale. If you're explicit.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. If you change things, you must be aware that can have influence on the automatism which is built in. Yes. Explicitly say I want this to be this. Of course, context will not be so stupid to say from. Now he has changed the body font, I change everything. No? Okay. When working with context, there is a very nice feature, and this is the command show frame. And we are going to use now this. Because if you have show frame, you can see where your elements appear on the page. Yes? So, in that file, in your file, context works, in that file, you see, okay, what I do is I always add some header, blah, blah, blah. Of course, everything beyond the percentage sign is comment, so context doesn't care about it, so you can do a lot of it. You see again, setup paper size, A4, A4, and then you see here a section with setup layout, and I think it is now nice to start a little bit playing with this, yeah?
Well, this Willi Egger in the first line cannot be called blah blah blah.
Sorry?
This Willi Egger in the first line should be called blah blah blah.
Sorry, we don't get my message. What I say is I put always in the first, on top of the file, I put some information about that file. And I said blah blah blah, because what you put there is comment, so the context will not take care of it. Yeah? So what I would like to do with you now is, we still have this simple sentence. We are now going to enable show frame. So we are going to delete the percentage sign, and we are going to delete all these percentage signs in front of setup layout.
And should we comment set up paper size or not? No.
You can, because you don't need it, basically. If you are working on A4, and that is what you do, you don't have, because it is standard that ConTeXt uses A4 as a paper size. However, as I work, I define most of my paper sizes myself. This command is always there. Oké. Kunnen jullie me begrijpen of niet? Nou, hè? Niet zo hard. Moet je maar gewoon even vragen. Wat hoor je? Ja? Is het, lukt het? Is het, kunnen jullie dat document publiceren? Ja. Kijk, en nu gaan we dus deze procentkeer allemaal weghalen. Allemaal. Nee, niet alles. Nee, ja, we gewoon niet volledig. En wat je ook kunt weghalen, straks, helemaal bovenaan. Er staat zo vreemd. Dus dat er kaders worden gelopen. Dat staan in deze regel in zo procentsteken, alles wat er achter staat, dus daar kun je allerlei dingen spijken die dus op het abonnement uiteindelijk niet naar voren. Jullie zeggen van nou, in deze paragraaf moet je nog zien dat dit is dat zal je niet zien. Dat is nu voor organisatie van je eigen werk. Dat is al. Ja? Oké, dan wil je weer gaan proberen combineren. Runnen. Ja. Ach zo. Yes. You can arrange margins left small, right
So this
large.
is just symmetric margins.
And if you say wiggle, ConTeXt calculates from based on the backspace.
Exactly symmetric layout.
And you can do that also for the top.
Yeah.
This is about middle. Okay, so you can layout right of so much in so many so wrong. Okay, but please ask. So I'm very happy if you ask questions, because only in this way we can make progress.